Hello, welcome to the European Open briefing for Monday, June the 11th. I'm Rafi Boyajian, currency analyst at XM.com, and we're going to be having a look at what's happening in the currency markets today. So the main headlines this morning: there was a muted response in financial markets to the G7 summit, where there was a very obvious rift between the leaders of the world's most powerful nations. The focus, though, now is moving on to that summit between the US president and the North Korean leader in Singapore tomorrow. The dollar is up against the Japanese yen. We've got the FOMC meeting coming up later this week. The euro is also firmer this morning ahead of the European Central Bank policy meeting on Thursday. But the Canadian dollar is down this morning following the rift with President Trump, which has cast doubt on the future of NAFTA. So let's get started now by taking a look at what's happening to the US dollar. We can see there the dollar jumping higher against the Japanese yen above the 110 level. So there was deepening trade tensions over the weekend at the G7 summit between the US and the other G7 nations. And for the first time ever, the leaders failed to agree on a joint statement. Despite that, though, there is relative calm in financial markets, both in Forex and equity markets. The focus is now shifting to the summit between President Trump and Kim Jong-un. There is positive sentiment ahead of that meeting. President Trump tweeted that he thinks it's going to work out very nicely. So that will be focus for the next couple of days. And then on Wednesday, we do have the FOMC meeting where the Fed is expected to raise interest rates for the second time this year and could possibly signal that it will be raising interest rates 4 times in total this year, as opposed to the current projections of 3 rate hikes. We can see that their dollar yen is actually slightly lower this morning, mainly on the back of a recovery in the euro. We're also going to have some US data coming up as well. We're going to have US inflation and retail sales. Looking at European currencies now, we can see the euro rising back above its 2021 exponential moving average to above the 1.18 level. It had come under pressure on Friday, so a bit of technical correction there due to the recent gains, as well as some negative German data pulled the euro lower on Friday. This morning, though, investors are focusing on the European Central Bank meeting on Thursday, where the ECB will possibly announce an end date to its asset purchase program. So we could see some additional gains for the euro ahead of that decision. But looking at the pound, again, we've got some important events coming up this week. We're going to have major UK data in the form of inflation, job figures, and retail sales. But it's also going to be very important for Brexit. We do have the EU withdrawal bill coming back to the House of Commons. If you recall, the House of Lords had made 15 amendments to that bill. One of them was whether or not the UK should stay in a customs union. The Lords said the UK should stay in a customs union. The House of Commons will have another vote on that to decide whether or not they will whether they will approve that amendment. If they do approve it, that will be bad news for Theresa May and could put her leadership in doubt. In the meantime, though, sterling isn't doing too badly. It's slightly up against the US dollar at around 1.3424 this morning. Let's move on to the Canadian dollar now, because the loonie has been quite volatile in recent weeks. And again, we saw quite a bit of volatility on Friday. We saw sharp gains for the loonie. We did have the employment report out of Canada, which, although the headline figure was disappointing, we saw a surprise drop in employment for May. Wage growth beat expectations. It rose to 6-year high. That's why we saw the loonie firming to around 1.2915. This morning, though, the loonie opened sharply lower, mainly because of that row between the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the US President Donald Trump at the G7 summit. So that has damaged relationships between the two nations, even when the NAFTA negotiations are still ongoing, putting the future of NAFTA in doubt. So the loonie is the worst performer this morning following that G7 summit. But if you look at gold, though, the safe haven gold hasn't seen much of a reaction. It's in fact fairly steady around $1,297 an ounce. We could see the gold, some volatility for gold prices depending on how the summit between Trump and Kim Jong-un will go tomorrow in Singapore. If we do see the two leaders coming to some sort of an agreement on denuclearization for North Korea, we could see gold prices going down. On the other hand, if the summit doesn't end up with any concrete steps, we could see gold prices perhaps moving higher. Oil prices now, let's have a quick look at oil prices, because over the weekend we had some data showing that Russian production was up in June. So that's weighing on oil prices this morning. WTI is currently trading at around $65.46 an ounce. We also had another increase in the oil rig count in the US last week. So a fairly muted start there in commodities markets as well. If you look at today's economic calendar, the main focus later on will be UK industrial output data, but other than that, it will be fairly quiet. That's it from me. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.